Fair question. So basically what I'm going to have you do is this. Let me phrase this so you understand what I am doing. I am showing you projects, past projects that I have edited that were related to when the final topic in the final project was specifically creating a presentation about a music group or artist. These are old. These are super old. I'm not showing you the ones that are current because these students are still enrolled here, and I don't want to show current ones. So these slides were designed to be self-run, self-designed slideshows. Your presentations will not be that. You will create a PowerPoint presentation. You will not put it on a timer. It will not go to music. You will get up and you will actually speak. That isn't how this class used to be. The first iteration of this class used to be stuff related specifically to, I had you create a PowerPoint and you put it on a timer. I use these because it shows you how pretty some of them can look and how bad some of them can look. The problem that some of you are going to run into is uniformity. And that's going to be the biggest challenge. It's a bigger challenge than anything else. You are in groups with two other people. You must make sure that the other people's slides look very similar to yours. I am looking for professional, but I am looking for flashy professional. That's it. And let me specify what I mean by flashy professional. I want it to look nice. I want it to look lots of colors, lots of animations, but still nothing that's too distracting. And we're going to go over how to do that today, and we're going to make it look good. So what we're going to do here today, I'm going to show you 5 presentations. I'm going to play music. You're going to turn your computer monitors off right now. Every single person here will have their monitors off. And I want you to just take out a sheet of paper. So please turn your monitors off so we can get the room as dark as we possibly can get it so you can see. Just take out a sheet of paper. I don't want you to take notes, but I want you to try to do a matrix and say this is what was good about this presentation, this is what was bad about it, and this is the grade that I would assign the person. And then we're going to go through these. I'm going to play some music. We'll play some decent music, some of my favorite songs by each of the artists. I might click a little faster through them just to speed them up, but I don't want you to say anything until the presentation is over. And then give me your opinion on how you thought the presentation went. So the first one I'm going to show you, this is presentation number 1, and this is a presentation on Elton John. So take some notes. template to show you why this is bad. Notice this individual reanimated these multiple times. All right, what grade would everybody give this? Who would give this an A? Raise your hand if you would say this is an A. A, B, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. D, F. What do we think it is? What's our guess? C. This is a C. Why is it a C? Start us off, Doris.
Well, after because of the timeline, he didn't have it in order, and he was jumping from section to section. And two, because
Timeline's big. Timeline is big here. You can notice too. I mean, this is a content issue. Random content, CDs done. What happened between 1972 and 1997? If you're going to do a discography, this person went from 1971 to 1983. There wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot of gap cover. A lot to cover with Elton John, so it should have said selected discography. So yes, timeline was one reason. What else?
the other reason, as far as the albums, he didn't have to list the whole name. He could just put the album cover and the release date.
Yep, I agree. A little bit too much information. The information wasn't selected. Okay, other reasons. Laura.
Different fonts. There were just way too many different fonts, like even on one slide.
I'm okay with different fonts on one slide if it's done artistically.
Like this
Can't
one
be
was
distracted.
okay. This one was okay.
It's okay. Okay, give me an example. Which one do you think?
Keep going. Right there. Right there was really, to me, was too much.
See, I didn't think bad about font here. I was more agitated with capitalization here. What's wrong with the capitalization here? Can You Feel the Love Tonight is a song title. Capitalized. I'm picky on stuff like this. I'm incredibly picky on it. This one was an issue with font. Because this person, this thing, was probably done on a home computer. They didn't check to see if the font would work on a point part computer. So the Y looped onto there, onto the second line, and that's a problem too. How do you fix that? Well, they simply could have made it bigger, and boom, here it is. It works perfectly. What else? Any other comments anybody have? Go ahead, Andrew.
Proofing, and that was one of them. The discography, I can't say the word. And then the other one, there was another one where they had everything bolded, but like the last part wasn't bolded. And yeah,
Spacing issues. This was not proofed. Exactly. I agree.
It was driving me nuts during the whole thing.
Here's the other thing I don't like, and you guys gotta note this. Here's a period here, no periods here. If you're gonna use periods, they better be consistent. It's either all periods or no periods. You make a judgment, you make a decision. Comma usage. I made a note on how Elton got started. Playing on Friday, comma, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, comma, Saturday, should be a comma here. Elton John Band, capitalization of the slides. Okay, this when you're doing keyboards, bass guitar vocals, it's capitalized. Then you go down to Davy Johnstone, guitar and vocals should be capitalized, right? Okay, so that's a content area. This slide, the bullets went way too fast. Another period area here. Or no, I'm sorry, this one did not have a period area. This one had the period area. There's a period on that one, and there wasn't on the other ones. Your main picture should never ever be blurry. It's a blurry picture. It's the main one. Don't you think that picture would have probably looked better in place of it? Yeah, so make appropriate picture selection. I already mentioned capitalization on the Lion King slide, and then here's some issues with fonts. They chose the wrong font, and that way all the text didn't fit onto the slide. This was what I would call a C presentation. After I reviewed it, would anybody have anything else they would like to add?
I have a question.
Yes.
Was that the music behind it, or was that music you picked?
That's the music that they chose.
I do have to say that they were pretty cool with, every time like a picture would come up, you would hear the drum of the song, or.
That's-
That was good, and whether that was on purpose or not, that I thought was
Yes.
good.
You guys won't do anything like that, but I did tell them to give me appropriate songs that they wanted to use. This individual chose Honky Cat and Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting, because Honky Cat was one of his earlier stuff, talking about the earlier stuff, and then the way that the beat for Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting came into the collage was great, and I did comment on that as well. So good point, that's something that I recognize. And remember, like I said, I picked which songs, I put the songs and I tried to, coordinate them with the presentations. Any other positives of this? Laura?
The pictures alone were awesome of
Yes.
all the different age, how he aged, and like you could tell when he was using the drug abuse section, you could tell when he was using drugs. You could see, yeah.
I love collages.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a collage, this is what I think for an actual presentation you're doing. Collages are good if you're getting up and you're speaking. If you can somehow have a collage on at the beginning while you're giving an introduction that goes over pictures, that looks freaking awesome. If you want to do it, cool. If not, don't. Because remember, this is on a timer, but if you actually do a collage and have it run while you're giving an introduction and have somebody clicking and showing pictures while you're talking, it's a great opener. So I would consider that as well. There are positives to this one, and I hope you saw the positives as well. So that's presentation number 1. Moving forward, we're watching this entire presentation. It's number 2. had enough yet?
Yes.
I'm not done yet.
There is a
One
lot of
red
pictures.
screen had bullet points that, you know what I mean?
One of them had bullet points that were already there, and then they would light up. Some of them would come in, so there was no consistency whatsoever in any of them. Lots of spelling errors. Anybody catch those?
Yeah, that and grammar.
Grammar, spelling errors. There were plenty.
And the timeline, once again, like we don't know when those albums came out, so why would you put some of the dates down all of them?
I'm sure everybody's heard that song, but how many of you
I never.
you never heard Better Than Ezra? Good. Okay, yeah. So there's been, how many of you know anything about Better Than Ezra? Just that song. That's what most people say. I've heard that song. I couldn't tell you anything about it. So if you were going to do a topic like that, you need to be specific. When you're doing your projects in here, you assume that most of the people in this class know stuff about Facebook. That is a smart assumption. You would assume that there's somewhat of an understanding on blogging. You would assume that the tracking devices, that probably needs to be a little more general. And for sure, cloud storage needs to be very general. I would say this presentation, it should have been general. Not everybody knows who Better Than Ezra is. Every single person in this room knows who Elton John is. You're living under a rock if you've never heard of Elton John. You probably don't know much about Better Than Ezra. So it should have been a lot more specific. Wouldn't it have been nice to have pictures on some of these slides?
Yes.
To me, it's like he did it the day before it was due,
You think? So,
or the day of.
you think? So, background colors. I hate red. It looks awful. Red text, red color on a PowerPoint projected slide is horrible. Don't use it. Please don't use it. Don't use red at all.
I hate green.
And some people hate green.
I do.
The big three colors you want to avoid are the reds, the really bright greens, and the yellows. If you're using yellow has to be on which types of color? What would you put yellow on? Dark colors. Never put yellow on a white or a blue or a green. Yellow goes well with black and blue. And that's about it.
Dark blue.
Dark blue. Good, yeah, very good. Thank you for specifying that.
I mean, his font type was very nice. It was consistent.
It was consistent, but see, once again, I would have liked him to be slightly more creative.
Talk about the band members in every single slide.
Yep. Well, you're not going to find much information on Better Than Ezra, you know? So what grade did I give this? I gave it a D. This is a D presentation, because at least there was an effort made, somewhat. There were a few pictures. At least there was some content information in it tried. So let's look at this next one. This is number 3. We'll see. Let's critique.
Um,
What do we think?
The information was better organized than some of the other slides.
I really liked this one.
I think it was really simple.
This is an F. This is an F.
Yeah.
It's an F. This is, I can give you a million reasons why this was an F.
Because you don't like them.
No! Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I saw Nelly back in 2002. 2002, I saw Nelly.
See, I like the consistent background.
Okay, I don't like the consistent background. Not for a PowerPoint class. I want you to change the background around. If you're given, this is a design PowerPoint class. One of the objectives is that you know how to change background. No background was changed. This is my favorite slide. Why is this my favorite slide?
It's
One sentence and one picture. Had the title.
yeah.
They spelled grammar wrong. If you're gonna spell a word wrong, grammar is probably not the one to do. There was no spell check that was run at all on this. Released, spelled correctly here. Spelled correctly here. Spelled incorrectly here.
And not only on that, when it got to that part, I was like, something for what year?
What year? Exactly. I agree. You're big on noticing content, which is good.
I had 4 kids and I have to go to school every day.
Hey, I got you. So yeah, I mean, content is huge. Bullets. If you're going to use bullets, there have to be how many bullets on a slide? At least 2. At least 2. But there should be 3. Don't do bullets for 1 bullet. There's obviously more that you could say about Nellyville or the Dirty Versions or Country Grammar. I mean, Country Grammar is one of the top-selling albums of the decade. You would assume that there would be something that would have been commented on about that.
But not only that, the sources that he gave, where he got his information from, there was enough in each one of those magazines.
I agree.
You didn't have to do anything else.
I agree. So
Spacing.
spacing is inconsistent. Here's a St. Lunatics. There's a period here, and there's not a period here. The difference between this one and the Better Than Ezra one, why I show this, is this. The Better Than Ezra one, I can tell the person probably didn't put any time into it. They probably bounced it out before class started. This one, the person put time into it, but they did not listen to one thing that I said. There's a difference. Nothing that I went over was done, nothing was attempted. The animations were just the same thing, so they did their own thing and they didn't follow the rubric and they didn't follow directions. That's what makes this one an F versus a D. All right, so now we get to see a couple others. because the second song that this individual selected was inappropriate for a school presentation. But we'll still keep going on the presentation. I'll speed through a little bit just to take a look at it. Aesthetically, color-wise, this is flawless. Look how cool that looks. Okay, so what are my complaints with this one?
That right there, that red screen, reminds me of that.
Number 3, it's difficult to read. But what do we think of the color choices and the way like this one looks? I mean, let's look at some of these slides, some of these album ones. This one, do the colors match? The colors in the font do match the font that's there. It does. It does. It matches. Does this match? Yes. Does this match? Yes. Is that cool? That's awesome.
I like that.
She did a strobe light effect on this too.
See, that would be my only complaint, the strobe light. Someone in here could have had seizures or something.
Yeah.
What was my complaint, Robin? My complaint with this was professionalism. You're giving a presentation. First off, I didn't play the second song that was picked. The second song was F-bomb after F-bomb was dropped in the second song. This is for a school professional presentation. You should have picked your artists and chose your songs accordingly. Do you really care that listening to Simple Plan reminded them of eating feces, and they substitute the word with feces? Would you put that in a school-appropriate presentation? Probably not. Some of the stuff that they used for content, I question the content.
I mean, I like the signatures.
The signatures were awesome.
That was really clever.
Where do they talk about drinking? Talk about got drunk. First time you got drunk was age 11. You know, if you're going to talk about this, the appropriateness was not what I wanted it to be. This had to be a professional presentation. Look-wise, I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. It looks amazing. The timer was set up nicely. I love the fact that when the timer came on, it said, by the way, this is his solo playing right now, and it came on right at that time. This person put more time than anything else into it. Unfortunately, they did not follow the professional element of it. So I gave this one a B+. It would have been an A if they would have followed the suggestions that were given. So now we get to watch what I consider to be the best presentation I ever had in this class.
I do have to say,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
With the red, like whatever you said, the red screen.
Yes.
I do have to say though, where they showed them on stage and then the red came out.
It
I thought
worked.
that was
I like it.
appropriate.
I agree. So this one is really good.
This is gonna be my favorite one.
Living
was all I had to say.
The one thing that made it different is everybody else who was listening to stuff and it came up backwards. That's how you had to read it. When he brought his in backwards, it took it to the top.
Top.
And he still was able to come down and read it in order instead of
Each-
catching up.
Each bullet was individually animated. And how much time it takes to do that? I don't expect you guys to do that.
I liked his animations when he introduced each member.
How do we know it's a he, by the way?
Oh, well.
Well, it is a he. It is a he, but go ahead, Greg.
I just like when, I don't really know the fan brush, but like, I would assume that the first person was a keyboardist or something.
Right.
The animation and, you know,
Then when the drummer, guitar player came out,
Yes,
he had
and I like
each
that.
animation for each person.
I loved
that
it.
was really cool.
I thought that was awesome because you got the big animation, then you have the smaller animation.
Exactly, stuff, pretty much.
What was also cool about the animation that used for each player, they had used in their concerts in the background, so it would play
Yep.
at the beginning. So they used it
Yep.
from their concerts.
And that one right there looks like the back of their t-shirts at the time.
It does.
That's exactly the way the back of their t-shirts were.
This person,
I like the first person. I had a lot of t-shirts.
Yeah,
This-
right there, that,
you like this one?
no, that first half, second half, like, that, this is where they started at,
Oh.
and then that's where they're at now, like.
Yeah. This slideshow was awesome. It was awesome. No spelling errors. Everything was done perfectly. This is the way that a PowerPoint presentation should look like. So now you've seen 5 of them. Remember, the project you're giving for this class, you're going to get up and speak. It will not be on a timer. I wanted to show these today to give you examples of color schemes, positioning, text choice, so when we start PowerPoint, you start thinking of this. Due for next week, each one of you are to design 3 PowerPoint slides on your own. I'm going to do, for the last part of class, a quick and dirty overview of PowerPoint. But next week, we're going to go and we're going to critique your 3 slides. If you show up with 3 slides done, it doesn't matter how good they are or how bad they are, you will get full credit. I need 3 PowerPoint slides done on your topic. Take some time, try some things out. I want you to try it really on your own and see how you do. So, since we just talked about these presentations, let's visit the discussion boards right now, okay? Just to show you what my expectations are for the discussion board for these for this week. Your discussion board for this week, you're going to critique question 1, week 2, and you're actually going to critique the presentations. The presentations can be found in content. You'll scroll down, and I've set up a folder, presentations to evaluate for week 2. And I have 4 presentations attached. So you'll open up the presentation, and we're looking at this Madonna one, and you'll view it. And you'll critique it. You'll tell me what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. But you're going to pick 2 presentations, whichever 2 you want to do. The options I give are Madonna, Usher, this one takes a while to load, the Beatles, and Ben Folds. They are under content for you guys, and scroll down and find presentations to evaluate for week 2. Now on the discussion board, notice what it says, and I'm going to stop the tape before we actually critique your discussion board host, because for privacy purposes, I don't want to do that while it's recording, but I want to show you this. When the ones you do for this week, you're going to critique at least 2 of the 4 PowerPoint presentations. Okay? So you're going to click on here, you're going to make a new thread, and you're going to critique in one post 2 of the presentations. So pick any 2 and critique them. That's your first question for next week. Your second question for next week is discuss 2 specific areas of business and life that have been made easier by word processing software such as Microsoft Word. discuss how tasks were handled prior to the creation of word processing software, and how the software makes the tasks easier. So those are your 2 questions for next week. You will also go online and you will do the online quiz. That can also be found under content, and that'll cover the stuff that we went over in the Microsoft Office lecture, plus font choices and font types. And that's available under content, and you'll do online quiz number 2. That will be active until January 28th, 2012 at 8 a.m. So you can do that quiz anytime. Quiz 2? Well, yeah, quiz 1 isn't available. You're doing quiz 2. You guys took quiz 1 last week, hopefully. And if you didn't take quiz 1, then if you were physically in class and you didn't complete quiz 1, then you have a 0. It is locked. Anybody who added late, what you'll do now, if anybody watching this at home has added late, this is what you will need to do. You will take online quiz number 2. The grade for online quiz number 2 will be double. So whatever score you get on this, if you get a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, it is a doubled grade. And that will replace your score for online quiz number 1. If you need any clarifications on this, I would advise you to call me at 412-849-3345. That's 412-849-3345. Or email me at lsabina, L-S-A-B-I-N-A, at pointpark.edu. And I will give you clarification on the online quizzes and discussion boards so you're caught up for week 3. Any questions for clarifications on any of this? Okay.